Hey there folks, and welcome back to Space Engineers. As you saw by the title, it's Versus Mode, in Episode 0. What's up with that? So, I'm going to explain that to you in, well, due time. So, what you're seeing in front of you is a station, and this is for something I call Versus Mode, where you have two teams. Each team has a basic station, which is the exact same thing, and the objective of the Versus Mode is to get the other team to either have their beacon destroyed, so you'd have to destroy their beacon, or get their beacon to get turned off. So if at any point in time the enemy beacon is not lit, that means you win the game. So you have to try to find a way to turn off their beacon or destroy it. And you have these little basic station to get you started. There is a derelict ship over there, which as you can see, it's red. It will shoot you, but it has all sorts of goodies and loot on it, so if you can manage to get on board, we will take a look at the derelict ship in a little bit, but if you manage to get on board, it will be all sorts of fun. So there's the orange base over there through the asteroid field. There isn't much protection on the ship, just two Gatling cannons, or on the station rather. The ship has plenty of protection. We'll take a look at that in a bit. But the station doesn't have much protection. It's just there to get you guys started. We have one Gatling turret on top, one Gatling turret on the bottom. Everything is done via conveyors inside inside of this station, so it's all state of the art. And obviously, as I said before, if you guys want to see this, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. If you don't, leave a comment too. I'm always willing to do what you guys want. So, when we go inside the station, there are two of these little airlocks. And yes, this is all made out of heavy armor, so it's going to be pretty hard for anybody that manages to get to the station to try to grind their way in or blow it open with low-level guns. So it's made out of heavy armor for that reason. Also, there's the tinted windows, so you can see out but can't see in. Obviously, it looks to be like one or three levels, something like that. We'll take a look at it, and let's head on in. Turn off our jetpack because there's gravity on the station. And inside the station you have yourself a refinery, an assembler, a cargo container, and the cargo container is also hooked up to a conveyor which is hooked up to the Gatling cannon outside. The only thing that has ammunition in it so far, like those Gatling cannons up top, when you start the game they don't have any ammunition because you'll have to make that yourself. But what does have ammunition are these interior turrets. That's essentially to prevent spawn camping. So, there are those. And obviously you can grind away anything in this station. Whoops, that was not supposed to be missing. Don't know how that happened. Anyhow, what was I saying before I got distracted by the fact that there's a hole in the floor? Oh yeah, you can grind away anything you want in this station, but beware that it will make getting to the beacon a lot easier. So right here we have our observation deck, I like to call it, with the tinted windows. And you'll be wondering probably why it's not just a complete wall of windows. I decided to put these armor blocks here because these windows are pretty easy to destroy with missiles and guns and stuff, so to prevent people from just blowing through the windows and getting to the door right away, I have this little armor block wall here so that they can't just shoot directly through, and that would be pretty cheap and it'd make the game go a little bit too quick probably. So they'd have to find another way in. And up top is where, well, obviously here's the beacon that you have to destroy or get turned off if you want to win the game. And the other station is exactly the same. So let's turn on our jetpack and let's hover on up to the top. So here we are. At the top of the station we have 4 nuclear reactors, each of which has a little bit of uranium in it. And yes, that's something that you're going to have to take into account. You're going to have to go mining for uranium right away, because if you don't, the uranium or the reactors will turn off and so will your beacon and you will lose. So that's something that you got to do. However, there's enough to keep you going probably for a good half an hour or so before you actually have to put in any uranium. And here is a cargo container that feeds the top turret, so if you ever want to put ammunition in the top turret, you don't have to go outside to do it. It's all done automatically. And here we are. This is the medical room at which you will respawn if you die. So you won't be using respawn ships because, well, if you use respawn ships, then you can just use them as battering rams. And that would be kind of a cheap way to win as well. So if you want to make your own battering ram, you're you can do that without an issue. So also, if we look, there is a cargo ship. Yes, there are going to be cargo ships spawning in and out. That'll make it a little bit more interesting. So you guys can capture yourself a cargo ship or whatnot. And there is the derelict ship, which we will take a look at in a little bit. So I think that's going to be it for the station. The other station is exactly the same. It's just got the orange paint on it for the orange team. So that's going to be it for the station. We're going to take a look at the derelict ship, but unfortunately, to take a look at it, if we get close to it, you'll see why. I'm going to have to turn off or reset ownership for everything because this will probably start shooting at me. Yep, it's starting to shoot at me. Okay, so I'll take a look at the derelict ship in a bit when I reset the ownership. So see you guys in a bit. Alright folks, and we're back. The derelict ship is no longer hostile. We're going to take a look at it. The reason we're going to take a look at it is obviously I want to show you, and if I played with anybody, it would be kind of an unfair advantage if I knew what was on the ship and you guys didn't. So here we are. The story behind this ship is that it is a mostly robotically controlled craft that is a warship. It's very heavily armed. Got some Gatling turrets on the top. I think there's a spot where one blew off, and there's two on the bottom. They've got some thrusters in every direction, lots of which have actually been blown off, so you don't actually know where they were. And this was a complete ship before I decided to blow it to Kingdom Come. There's also a small ship that's just crashed inside of there. Everything is fed through conveyors. Some of these guns have ammunition, some of them don't. I honestly can't remember. And obviously this ship has taken quite the beating. There have been explosions all over the place. And there's a little antenna indicating it's a derelict ship. It still does have a little bit of power. And, oop, there's a unexploded mine. Let's take care of that. Boom. And in the back we have two ports for which you can enter. Also there are it's a missile turret for rearward facing missiles. Some of the, well, actually quite a few of the engines in the back have been blown off. But I think you could still probably fly it. I don't know. You'd have to obviously change all of the ownership over. So there's those two areas over there that you can enter. And the other area that you can enter are these two areas. The ship's symmetrical, so you can enter from the other side. And this is where you can access all of the cargo for all of the Gatling cannons, so on and so forth. This would be quite the haul if you actually managed to make it on here without dying, because there's a lot of good stuff on here. A lot of ammunition, uranium, and all sorts of good stuff. And we're going to take a look at the inside now. There we go. So if you actually manage to get inside of this, oh man, you would have a field day, because there are what looks to be 4 untouched large reactors that still have uranium in them that you could grind away for your own uses. And there's also all sorts of other stuff in here. However, there are Gatling interior turrets protecting them, so it won't be easy, but if you manage it, it would be fantastic. And we're going to take a look at the bridge. Not really a bridge, just kind of sort of a room of sorts with a piloting chair in it. And there you go. You got some of your gyroscopes, the ones that haven't been destroyed. You have your gravity generator. And your piloting chair with a couple of control stations, which would be good for parts. And you got some cargo containers as well. So, yeah. That is the derelict ship. So, make sure you guys tell me if you want to see this, or if you don't necessarily want to see a versus mode, make sure to tell me as well. I am open for all ideas. So, I think that will be it for this episode. Yay or nay, yes or no. Thank you folks for watching. This has been episode 0 kind of like a let's try, and I guess we will see you folks next time.